and Hernandez. Kessie and Benaker are the two holding midfielders, with the Salamikas, Brahim, Diaz and Rafael Leao as the attacking three playing behind Rebic. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff, Liverpool against AC Milan. Liverpool get their Champions League campaign underway at home this evening against AC Milan, and Jurgen Klopp has made a few changes. Alisson is in goal with the back four of Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Gomez and Robertson. The three in midfield are Henderson, Fabinho and Keita, with Origi, Salah and Jota as the three up front. As for AC Milan, they have Maignan in goal. It's the back four of Calabria, Fikayo Tomori and Hernandez. Kessie and Benaker are the two holding midfielders, with the Salamikas, Brahim, Diaz and Rafael Leao as the attacking three playing behind Rebic. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff, Liverpool against AC Milan. Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining us on this independent off-tube studio commentary. Liverpool's Champions League campaign is just about to get underway, and it's a tough group. Group B for Jurgen Klopp's side, as well as AC Milan, who they face this evening. Atletico Madrid and Porto make up the rest of the group. The Liverpool players and the Milan players as well are now taking the knee, and we should be getting underway. I'm Paul Szczerbakowicz, joined by Cameron Pope for this match. And Cameron, we can see that Jurgen Klopp has named a strong side, but it's not, you would say, his Premier League starting 11. He has made a few changes.
No, Paul, no. There was some discussion and debate as to how the Reds would line up going into this one. It's their return to Champions League action. And of course, it's a bit of a middle-of-the-road one, exactly. Not full strength, but certainly enough to take the game to an AC Milan side who are not quite the shadow of their former selves, let's say, but not really punching to the heights we've seen them at. Indeed, the last time these two teams met as well, both two were in European finals, exactly. So it's a bit of a regression of what we're expecting from these two, but we'll have to see how this one pans out.
Absolutely. It's been a positive start from Milan in their Serie A campaign. 3 wins out of 3. Liverpool with 10 points from their 4 games. But here come Milan now going through the middle. Although, just to say that, Rafael Leao was just stopped in his tracks. And Fabinho now spreading the play out over towards the left-hand side. And plenty of space here for Andy Robertson. Plays a square ball to Keita, who's under pressure, but he goes back towards Fabinho. And the home side now slowly trying to build a little bit of possession inside the Milan half. Just remind you very quickly of the two sides. Alisson is in goal for Liverpool with a back four of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joel Matip, Joe Gomez and Andy Robertson. The three in midfield are Jordan Henderson, Fabinho and Naby Keita, with Mo Salah, Divock Origi and Diogo Jota as the three up front. I'll go through the Milan side in just a second, because Liverpool are on the attack now down the right-hand side with Alexander-Arnold. Plays a short ball to Salah, then gets it back from Henderson. Under a bit of pressure there from Hernandez, having to go back across towards Keita. Keita trying a shot which is charged down by Kjaer. Loose ball at the edge of the area, played straight back to a Liverpool player. And here's Origi now breaking into the box. Just plays it a little bit too far. I'm not even sure if he's going to get the corner out of that, but Jota saving the ball here for Liverpool. Goes back to Robertson, who lifts across in, looking for Salah, and it's a very telling header there from Hernandez. Puts it out for a corner, but perhaps a prognosis of what we're going to see in this match here now.
Well, exactly. Dynamism early on from Liverpool. That's exactly what Jurgen Klopp will have wanted. They've taken the game to the visitors, got them on the back foot, and so early signs, they do seem to be promising.
Absolutely. Liverpool want to get a goal here early just to calm the nerves. Say Milan aren't quite the strong side they used to be. They still have plenty of threats in that 11. Just remind you their team in a second, but we'll see this corner kick from Trent Alexander-Arnold aimed at the near post. They're cleared back towards the halfway line. Gomez has stayed back as the last man for Liverpool. Plays the ball back into the box, headed on by Joel Matip, straight into the arms of Mike Miangan, who is the in goal for AC Milan this evening. Back four of David Calabria, Simon Kjaer, Fikayo Tomori and Theo Hernandez. Frank Kessie and Ismail Benaker are the two holding midfielders, with Alexis Salamikas, Brahim Diaz and Rafael Leao as the attacking three playing behind Ante Rebic. It's a long clearance from Miangan now, looking for Rebic, headed away by Matip. Ball now back with Henderson, playing it back to Gomez, who certainly had his injury problems over the last year or so. He'll be looking to get a bit of time in the first team now.
Yes, exactly. This is the players who maybe have struggled in the last campaign, exactly, back in the shot window now. I'm going to break.
Well, here come Liverpool now with a great chance as the ball across from Robertson finds Origi. His strike, though, sliced it a little bit. I mean, he was trying to get it into the bottom corner anyway, but just played it a little bit too far.
Yes, absolutely. And credit to Liverpool so far. Every time, Paul, that you've tried to read the AC Milan team out, or we've tried to offer a little bit of analysis, Liverpool have decided to break away once again. So plenty of action early on. They're starting to exploit AC Milan, who haven't quite got up to gear yet, say, in the defensive reaches. But Again, nothing too threatening, you would say, but likewise in the early opening exchanges, it's certainly Liverpool who've had everything so far.
They have. It's Milan now trying to get forward, but the ball doesn't even get through to Salamikas, and straight away Liverpool are back in possession. We've just got the one goal so far in the 8 o'clock kickoffs, an early goal for Ajax, taking the lead away at Sporting goalless everywhere else so far. And it's Mo Salah now down the right-hand side for Liverpool, under pressure here from Hernandez. Having to go all the way back towards Alisson, but this has been a very confident start from Liverpool, barely giving Milan any time on the ball at all. And with Fabinho now going back towards Matip. It's the ball into Alexander-Arnold, who's got space ahead of him. He's got Henderson there square, but he carries on his run himself. He gets stopped. Mo Salah picks up the loose ball, and it's neither a shot or a cross from Salah in the end. I think he was probably trying to cross it, but just couldn't quite pick out a teammate.
Yes, it was a poor ball, really. We had Origi lingering around in the 18-yard box. Andy Robertson was a bit more further afield, but he managed to splice the ball exactly between the two of them, and it's an easy catch for Mike Maignan.
Yes, as Milan now trying to play out from the back, which is, I suppose, that they're in a bit of a catch-22. If they clear it long, then there's every chance that Liverpool, their defender's going to win it. And as they play it short, they lose possession as well. And here's Robertson now, finding Jota, twisting and turning inside the box. His strike gets a deflection, and it goes out for a corner. But judging by these first 5 minutes, it's only a matter of time before Liverpool score.
It certainly seems that way. Frank Kessie has been sold a dummy there, and it was a lovely turn inside and just about getting the block in the way. I think it was Frank Kessie managed to get his body into the way of it. But again, Liverpool, they can't let Milan out of their own defensive third at the moment, and so you're absolutely right. It is a catch-22 for the away side at the moment, and the only way they can clear the lines is the unattractive Route 1.
They clear it Route 1, it will be coming straight back. If they play it short, they lose possession inside their own half. They can't really get it right at the moment. The corner kick from Alexander-Arnold is headed out back into midfield, and now a chance here for Salamikas down the right-hand side. Finally a chance here for Milan to have a little bit of attacking possession. Benaker now plays it square back over to Salamikas, but straight away Milan forced to go back into their own half. Liverpool are swarming around them. The ball played back to Miangan, and then he plays it square to Fikayo Tomori. A bit more space now for Theo Hernandez down the right-hand side. He tries an early ball into Rebic, and I tell you what, that wasn't too far away at all. Alisson has to come out and make the save. The offside flag in the meantime is up. But that's just a warning there to Liverpool that only takes one good ball and timing it with the offside, and all of a sudden there could have been a great chance there for Milan.
Yes, it certainly asked the question there of Alisson Becker, and credit to him, it's the first time he's had to get into action after 6 minutes, and he was straight off his line. He didn't know the flag was going to come. He had to make sure that he was there. I think he just about did enough, and his return ball wasn't a great one. It went straight to Brahim Diaz. He'll be a very relieved man to see the flag up on the far side. But Milan have that in their locker, and it's just a warning to Liverpool that perhaps they're not going to have it all their own way.
No, absolutely not. As we saw Stefano Pioli there, he was probably very worried after the first 4.5-5 minutes, but just the last 90 seconds or so, his side are finally getting into their stride with a bit of attacking possession. Here is Rafael Leao down the left-hand side. It's a good run from him as well. Holds the ball up and then leaves it for Theo Hernandez. And an offside flag there, and that's just careless. The previous effort was a quick counter-attack, and you could excuse Rebic for being offside there, but Hernandez just not paying attention, as Liverpool now trying an attack of their own, but Salah's ball over towards the right-hand side just hits the heel there of Tomori, and the visitors are now back in possession, but straight away they lose it. Origi wins it back and gets an early ball into the box. Kjaer's forced to clear it out for a corner. And it's a chaotic, fast start here at Anfield so far.
It really is, and it should have been a better ball, actually, because Diogo Jota was in so much room at the back of the penalty area. Theo Hernandez has got himself caught flat-footed. It is a poor ball coming in from the flank. It should have been a better delivery, and that really presented Liverpool an opportunity there. But not to fear, still have the corner.
Yeah, it's Alexander-Arnold again. His corners have been pretty easily dealt with so far. He's been trying to get them towards the edge of the 6-yard box. He tries a slightly higher corner kick this time, aimed at Matip. It's a header on target, but it's one of those that Miangan could see it all the way and makes a comfortable save.
Yes, he did well there, the Frenchman, just to get up and level to that. He had to move and scamper across in his goal, but I think because of the distance, the fact that it was an outswinger and it dipped quite far away from the 6-yard area, it just gave the former Lille man a bit of time to redress his step and get himself back where he needed to be. But again, it just seems to be that Milan are creating problems for themselves, and when they do manage to play out the back, Liverpool are creating enough problems from their own patch. And so, Stefano Pioli, it's going to be a long, long night at Anfield, you feel?
It is, and he won't be happy with what his team did there, playing out from the back. And in the end, the goalkeeper there, Miangan, forced to rush his clearance, puts it out for a throw. That looked like a foul throw there from Alexander-Arnold, but the ball doesn't get through to Salah. And it's picked up here now by Tomori, who sends a long ball straight down the middle, looking for Rebic, but Andy Robertson gets there first, goes back towards Joe Gomez, and Fabinho back towards Joel Matip. There's still a real good pace about, good energy about the way Liverpool have started this match. And Mo Salah now spots a great run here from Alexander-Arnold, who breaks into the box. He gets away from Kessie and he fires it into the back of the net. Well, Liverpool have been promising to score since the very first minute, and it's taken them 9 minutes to take the lead.
I'm only surprised it's taken that long, Paul, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, where he certainly knows where he's going heading forwards, doesn't he? He's been a threat constantly tonight down that right flank. He found himself in space on the end of the through ball, and the pace, well, AC Milan just couldn't match him. A bit of fortune with a finish. I think it took a deflection, and that's taken it away from Mike Maignan, who so far has been equal to everything. Disappointing for Milan, but it's nothing less than Liverpool deserve.
Yeah, well, there's a bit of a fallout there on the pitch now between Milan players. Goalkeeper Miagna having to act as peacemaker there, but Arnold picks his ball up on the right-hand side. He sees Mo Salah. He carries on his run. He's not really well tracked there at all by the returning Leao, and then he gets towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Looks up. I think he's probably thinking about passing it, but then he realises that he's getting close enough to goal, and his strike. Oh yeah, it's the deflection that's wrong foots the goalkeeper Miagnan, and goes into the back of the net. Loops over his head, but Arnold will certainly be claiming that one.
Yes, he will be. And you saw the shift in in decision when you look at it from the reverse angle. He's looking across goal. He's waiting for the contact, and he decides that the angle is large enough. And well, he got a bit of fortune, but he was right.
Well, with Liverpool straight back on the attack, we were still getting replays, independent of Tube Studio commentary of the first goal. Liverpool straight on the attack after Milan's kick-off. It's Naby Keita now on the left-hand side. Just leaves the ball for Diogo Jota. Now it's with Henderson. See how the atmosphere at Anfield, it's always a great atmosphere for an evening kick-off at Anfield, but especially with that early goal, even more pressure on AC Milan now as Liverpool trying down the right-hand side. Alexander-Arnold finds Salah. Salah trying to play a 1-2 with Origi. That didn't quite work out, but the ball drops to Henderson. He hits it first time, but it's straight down the middle.
Milan could be in real trouble here. They have to get a handle on this game before the scoreline could start to get ugly. And they're arguing between themselves after one goal. You wonder what state of disarray that they will be in. But like you said, they've won 3 out of 3 in Serie A this year. They're second just behind Roma. They're not used to being in this position. So how they react now could weigh a lot, not just on this game, but on the rest of the season.
Well, they've got numbers forward here as Rebic gets the ball all the way to the edge of the area. Brahim Diaz having to leave this now for Leao. Leao breaking into the box, just shows a bit too much of it, though, to Joel Matip. And he's able to bring the ball out himself, and he's heading towards the halfway line. Still got plenty of space, finding Mo Salah, hits it towards the middle of the park. He's got a couple of options here. He could have played it out towards the right-hand side. Prefers to go over to the left now for Robertson and Jota. Ball played back towards Fabinho. 11 minutes gone, independent off Tube Studio commentary. Liverpool leading against AC Milan by a goal to nil after that strike from Alexander-Arnold on 9 minutes. And Milan had one run towards the edge of the Liverpool box after conceding, and now it's back to normal. Liverpool straight back into possession again.
That's the pattern of play that's been emerging, Paul, and for Milan it just seems to be whatever they can string together. It's wave after wave of attack at the moment for Liverpool.
Oh, here comes Jota, and he finds Salah in loads of space. Salah tricking, getting onto his weaker right foot, striking it towards goal. And last-ditch challenge there from Fikayo Tomori. He's already had to put a shift in these first 12 minutes. But Salah, it was a bit of a poor touch. It just got away from him, and that forced him to shoot with his weaker right foot.
It did, and it just allowed Tomori to get his body in the way, racing across there. He just takes it away from his boot, Salah, as he turns away. I don't think he was quite expecting such an early ball, nor to be in so much room, and he made it a rub for his own back there. But once again, Liverpool always threatening from corners.
Absolutely. Every one of their corners has been from this right-hand side. Another outswinger from Alexander-Arnold, once again aimed at Matip. Good header away by Kjaer. Back into midfield. Gomez once again the last man back for Liverpool. Gets it to Robertson. Fabinho now into the box. Back to Robertson, who tees it up for himself and strikes it just over the bar. He's saying that there should be a corner. And the referee... What's the referee?
Well, he looks
penalty.
To have pointed for... I think he's pointed for a penalty here.
I think he has.
Well, a yellow card's come out.
Is this for when was Robertson tripped as he strikes it? Is there an arm out here?
I wonder if it's handball.
Oh, it is, yeah. It looks like it's Ismail Benacer who's just got his right arm out as this strike is coming in. Ooh, I mean, he's turning his body. I'm not sure that you can argue that that's a deliberate use of the hand. Szymon Marciniak, our Polish referee, has given the penalty and the yellow card. I'm not so sure about this one.
That's a really difficult one there for Benasser there. I do feel for him. Again, it certainly doesn't fall into the category of deliberate yellow card, but if we go off the interpretation of the law, then perhaps, the referee's hands are tied there, and so I think that we've had to learn to expect that those are given as penalties. But, I mean, in real time, there was just so much shock on the Liverpool players, and certainly on
Robertson
on the
just sort of said, yeah, penalty, yeah, fair enough, ref. But I mean, I think he wasn't expecting that either. I think I have to say, well, we'll get your thoughts in a moment once we see this penalty from Mo Salah. So it's Salah against Mjangden on 14 minutes, a chance to double Liverpool's lead at the start of this match. It's saved by the goalkeeper, and the rebound is also saved by Mjangden. It's out for a corner. Well, perhaps a bit of justice there, because neither of us were particularly sure about that actually being a penalty.
Well, one thing I'm sure about, what a fantastic double save from Mike Maignan. He goes down to his right. It's not a great penalty from Salah. It's far nearer the middle than it is the corner. But then Andy Robertson comes flying in with a diving header, and that one is in the corner. The goalkeeper has to pick himself straight back up. He's equal to it once again. In fact, I think it's Jota who's got in for the header at the back post. And Maignan has reacted straight back up, palmed it away for a corner. And so, well, he might have just kept this game a contest.
Robertson with the outswinger from the left-hand side. It's the first time Liverpool had a left-hand corner, but the ball is now on the right-hand side, picked up here with Alexander-Arnold. The initial corner kick was headed out towards the right-hand edge of the penalty area. Arnold tried to fire it back in. But so the question I was going to ask you before that penalty was taken was, would you think that would be given in the Premier League? I don't think it would be.
This is the thing, isn't it? I don't think it's given in the Premier League either, nor in. It's so tricky, and that's where. You get so
it's one of those where if the referee gave it, VAR might ask him to have a look at it, and if he didn't give it, I don't think VAR would say, look, you need to see that because that looked like a penalty. But Liverpool on the attack straight away again now with Jota, gets the ball to the edge of the area. Salah hits it first time. A little bit wasteful there with that one. Didn't need to take that on first time, but maybe it doesn't matter as far as Liverpool are concerned because they're getting the ball back every single time at the moment.
Well, absolutely. AC Milan have to capitalise on it now. It was a really poor penalty from Mo Salah, actually. I was quite surprised at just how inaccurate it was. It's only about a foot off the ground. It's only a foot away from the centre, too. And so, OK, Maignan still has to stand big and parry it away. But, it's an expected save for the goalkeeper. But AC now have just proceeded to carry on in the same vein with which they led into the penalty. And that's just gifting the ball away to Liverpool in the midfield. So they've been gifted a chance to get back into this game. They've had a stroke of luck. It's evened itself out. They have to capitalise now.
They do indeed. A couple of other goals to tell you about as well. Ajax are now 2-0 up away at Sporting Halle with both the goals for Ajax, a former West Ham man, of course. PSG have just taken the lead away at Club Brugge with Ander Herrera getting the goal there. And that's all the other games are goalless so far. In the earlier games, Besiktas lost 2-1 at home to Dortmund, and Tiraspol in their first Champions League game beating Shakhtar by 2-0. But here come AC Milan now down the left-hand side with Rafael Leao. Gets to the edge of the area. His cross is charged down by Alexander-Arnold and then cleared by Henderson. It gets it to Origi, tries to turn away as he was being held up there by Kjaer. Just wonder if that's going to be a booking for Simon Kjaer. Marciniak is quite a harsh referee, but I think has he shot him the yellow card there? It potentially could be because he's stopping Origi getting away from him there.
I mean, I would be surprised if he doesn't come out for the date there because he's come across with two arms into the body. It's certainly a check. And so, yes, you would imagine so, but I didn't see the yellow card flashed out, and so I can only assume, until we hear otherwise, that there's been no further repercussions. But it's a surprise for me, put it that way, Paul.
Yeah, it is. It looks like he has got away with that one there, Kjaer, which just shows you that he deliberately grabs an opponent and stops him running away from him during a counter-attack, and that's not a booking. And then at the other end, Benasser just effectively turned, and the ball just glanced off his wrist, and he got a yellow card and gave a penalty away. So even with VAR, there's still quite a lot of inconsistencies in terms of the way a match is refereed. But the ball now back with Alisson. Liverpool goalkeeper clearing it long down the right-hand side now for Mo Salah. He can't keep that in play, though. It was just getting away from him. Manchester City have just taken the lead at home to RB Leipzig. Confirm the goal scorer in just a second, but they're off to a good start as well. Still goalless between Inter and Real. And the ball now over on the left-hand side here as AC Milan look with Theo Hernandez waiting to take the throw. Throw from Hernandez. Leao then chested down here looking for Ante Rebic, but the ball now back with Joel Matip, and there's no time for AC Milan at all. They've had a couple of runs down the left, but not even seen anything from them down the right. And it's just they've got no time on the ball, whether it's in their own half or especially in the Liverpool half.
Yes, they're being harried across the field there. Matip and Gomez look very solid at the back, and Henderson, Fabinho doing the job in midfield. All the angles and passing avenues are getting shut off as soon as they open up, and perhaps some frailties were exposed early on for Liverpool. They've certainly found their rhythm, certainly in attack, but more or less so in defence as well now.
Absolutely, and Liverpool now just trying to get the ball back down the left-hand side as it looks. Salamakers was dispossessed. Fabinho now moving forward, gets the ball to Henderson. He goes back to Diogo Jota. Jota under pressure there, having to go back towards Joe Gomez, but there's still a real good energy about Liverpool, how they're playing, and they're pushing forward again here now with Keita. He gets away from Salamakers, square now to Fabinho, over towards the right-hand edge of the penalty area. Salah breaking into the box. Runs straight into trouble, though, in the form of Frank Kessie, and that is out for a corner kick.
Well, here we go. Liverpool again. Everything seems to be coming down the right-hand side, and well, Kessie, you feel he's starting on the right-hand side of midfield, and he's having to come across to the left because that is where Trent Alexander-Arnold is having most of his luck, and he's done a good job so far. But I don't know how long they can hold out at this rate.
Short corner kick this time, and then the ball played to the edge of the area with Keita's ball into the box. That one is headed out by Kjaer, pumped back into the penalty area. Good header away this time by Calabria, but there's Alexander-Arnold. He puts the second cross in, and it's a header from Matip, and just like the previous header that he had, it's straight down the middle. I mean, this one was a little bit quicker from Alexander-Arnold, and I think the referee, I'm not sure if the referee spotted a foul there as well, but it was a good ball in from the right-hand side.
Yes, I wonder if it's for a push, because Matip just seemed to find himself seemed to find himself in a little bit too much room there, given how close his marker was. And given that too, he should have done better. You're quite right, Paul. It was straight down the middle. Doesn't really force the goalkeeper to make a save. And he's had a couple of those now. You just want to see a little bit more. If AC Milan go against the grain and do start to find their feet and find a way back into this game, Liverpool don't want to have to have rued these chances that they've let slip in the opening 20 minutes.
No, absolutely. I mean, there's the penalty, of course, as well as 3 or 4 other good chances, and now a chance potentially for AC Milan to get forward. The ball with Salamakers down the right-hand side. Gives it away, though. Loose ball saved here by Benacer, and he's actually fouled as well, says the referee. Free kick now to Milan, just taking it short back to the captain, David Calabria. And now Simon Kjaer switching play over towards the left-hand side, but there's nobody there. That one is straight out throw. You can see Stefano Pioli there as well, just putting his hands up saying, calm down, because he can see that his players have been swamped. But actually, after 20 minutes, they're only a goal down, so there's still plenty of time to get things right in this match.
There is. No need for panic stations yet. We've only had 20 minutes of the game, and Pioli just needs to have his side regimented, and they need to be respecting the rules he's put in place here, because they've lost their shape so many times when Liverpool have come forward. They panicked and gifted them back possession right on the edge of the defensive third, and they need to find themselves into a rhythm soon before this stretches out into the main act of the game. This is not beyond salvation, not by a long chalk, and they've had their fair share of luck so far with the penalty, although taking nothing away from the save from Maignan, and so this one still rests on the knife edge.
It certainly does, but Liverpool are still looking to try and keep the tempo up as Matip got the ball to Jota. He went quickly down the left-hand side to Andy Robertson. Robertson running straight into Alexis Salamakers, and that's out for a throw. I think he might have actually come off the Scotland international last as well, so it is going to be a throw to Milan. Chance for them to try and clear their lines. It is with Calabria now down the right-hand side. I can tell you that that's a Manchester City goal. Was scored by Nathan Ake, with Jack Grealish getting the assist. But Liverpool pushing forward now, having won the ball back from that throw, played into the penalty area. Keita was furthest forward, and he runs into 2 Milan defenders and knocks them over like Skittles, really. I suppose it's take your pick which one of them was actually fouled there.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing there is Keita, a man who's not perhaps used to being the furthest red shirt forward, found himself in that no-man's land in the box, didn't quite know how to react, and in the end, as you say, knocked over a couple of Skittles in the penalty area, and it's just a choice of which one for the referee. But again, we're seeing the same pattern of play continuing now, and AC, as soon as they clear their lines, it's as if they're resigned to the fact that Liverpool are going to bring it straight back towards them, and they're having to hold in and sit deeper and deeper and deeper. They need to try and find a plan B, because plan A is just a gift for the home side at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly is, and Liverpool potentially could have won the ball back there as well. The referee does give a free kick, with Frank Kessie got absolutely no advantage there. He then plays the ball straight into the referee, so finally referee Shimon Marciniak just telling both sets of players to slow down. It is a free kick to Milan, Just slow possession for them now inside their own half as Kessie plays the ball over towards the right-hand side. Calabria gets the ball from Brahim Diaz, and then I'm not sure what he was trying to do there. He lifts the ball into the penalty area, which eludes everyone, and then it's cleared by Alexander-Arnold. But there may still be a chance down the left here now for Theo Hernandez. Salah back inside his own half, helping out his defence, and then this ball trickles through to Origi, and he might have a chance down the right-hand side now. Gets bundled off the ball by Fikayo Tomori. And this time last season that would have been a free kick, but these days referees have been told to allow a bit more of the shoulder barge, and we saw it there for sure.
We did, Paul, but I like that from Fikayo Tomori, that he can see that he's been born on the game in England, and he's brought that into his career in Italy. He made sure that he let the Liverpool man knew where he was. He always had his shoulder in the way. He used his force, and the assistant referee was right on top of it. A big shake of the head to the protesting Liverpool players. He's just used his physical force, got in front of the man, and I think he's won the ball back really well there.
Well, it's, as I say, I think he does get away with it because Origi's starting to sort of position himself for a bit of a shoulder barge as well. I've seen a few where it's literally just somebody shoved from the side, and I would argue that probably still should be a free kick, but on that occasion I think we could both agree that Tomori did the right thing. But we've coming up to 24 minutes gone, and it's Liverpool 1, AC Milan 0, and it will be Cameron to take us through to half-time.
Thank you, Paul. Well, let's hope for more of the same in terms of action. It's all been rather one-sided at the moment. Liverpool lead by a goal 2-0. They've also missed the penalty courtesy of Mo Salah, but they have the ball on halfway. Naby Keita with an outside-of-the-foot pass out far side at the Liverpool left to Robertson. Looks back over his right shoulder. Goes back to Keita. It's threaded forward to Jota. Corner of the penalty area. Robertson again will work it back towards halfway. AC just getting men behind the ball and forcing Liverpool for one of the first times back to halfway. So Liverpool, having no look down the left-hand side, will try near side their right. A long ball from Matip into the feet of Salah. It's a heavy ball back from Salah, and it's an awkward one for Trent Alexander-Arnold to deal with, and he concedes the free kick just inside the AC Milan half. It was Brahim Diaz who was on the end of a wayward challenge, and so a free kick to AC Milan. It's just a shade inside their own territory. Just as I thought it might be a chance to lump the ball forward and spend a rare moment inside the Liverpool defensive third. They've opted to go back. Simon Kjær has it. Far side the right will go for Calabria. The Italian immediately put under pressure by Jota, and it's going to be worked all the way back to Mike Maignan. AC Milan will start again on the corner of their penalty area. 25 minutes gone. Off Tube Independent studio commentary with Cameron Pope and Paul Szczerbakowicz. It's Liverpool 1, AC Milan 0. Again, Simon Kjær resetting the tempo, receiving the ball shot from Maignan in his 18-yard box. Into Frank Kessie. Kessie slips it near side the AC Milan left and into the feet of Theo Hernandez. The Frenchman turns back and finds Kessie. AC still inside their own half. Liverpool not giving him an inch, and Keita is just harrowing and pressing Milan players back towards their own penalty area. So they'll switch flanks, they'll come again. Just no way through. But this is walls of shirts, Paul. It's just so difficult for them to break Liverpool down in midfield.
But at least they're keeping the ball. They're trying to. Now we see a long clearance there from Yangan, which goes straight through towards Joe Gomez. But I'm with you. When they had that free kick on the halfway line, send it long, because short possession and short passing on the halfway line is not getting you anywhere. They should have tried something a little different, because there's a chance they're going to lose the ball when they're in possession on the halfway line anyway.
It's not worked for them for the first 26 minutes. That's where we find ourselves now. Liverpool a goal to the good as an aerial ball is taken down rather forcefully by Trent Alexander-Arnold, and that's just too powerful to trickle away. Well, what would have been a goal kick, and in fact it's going to be a foul because he's gone straight into the back of Theo Hernandez in his desire to win the ball back, and the Frenchman gladly accepts. So the referee just with a quick passing word to Trent Alexander-Arnold. In fact, it's probably, from a cynical point of view, it's probably not a bad place to foul there, because you're disadvantaged having what should be a free kick on the goal line, but as we can see, Mike Maignan has taken a few liberties there, and he rolled it a good 15 yards.
He has. You don't normally see referees let them get away with that much. It's normally the throw-ins that you can get away with, where you can take them 10 yards away from where they're supposed to be. But it gives Yangan a chance now to clear it, although the ball kicked out by Arnold, so all of a sudden Milan have got some position very close to the Liverpool penalty area.
We're not used to seeing this. Club Brugge have equalised at the Jan Bredel Stadium against Paris Saint-Germain. Liverpool still lead 1-0 at Anfield in this off-tube independent studio commentary. And Theo Hernandez will have the throw for the white-shirted Milanese. 20 yards from Liverpool corner flag. Trades a couple of passes with Kessie. And again, Liverpool out-pressing, manned by Jordan Henderson. But for a change, AC are holding the ball, and it's worked well by Tomori to work it inside. But Liverpool going to try and pinch it back with Fabinho, who careers into the back of Benassa. The referee, well, Paul, your Polish is far better than mine. I don't know what his English is like, but I can tell from his body language that he won't tolerate any more from Fabinho.
He does
He's laid down the law.
He has. He does speak some English there, Simon Marciniak, but I mean, clearly he was very unhappy there with Fabinho, and he was actually almost gesturing to his pocket when Fabinho started to give him a little bit of chat back, and I think he was just letting him know that the foul was bad, and that's all he wants to say on it, and he doesn't want to hear any talk back from Fabinho.
Benassa, who doesn't seem overly shaken by the foul, plays a long ball down the line, looking for the run of Leao. Leao by the corner flag, turns it back, crosses back post. Oh, it's just a bit far for Szczerbakowicz. Just about keeps it in the far side of the AC Milan right. Rare bit of a chance for AC, who trail by a goal to nil. Szczerbakowicz back to the edge of the penalty area. Diaz crosses it, finds Theo Hernandez, gets a shot away into the body of Matip. It's still alive, cross to the back post. It's flicked up rather than away by Gomez, and it's hammered clear by Liverpool. The first real time we've seen them sweat inside their own penalty area. It's taken 28.5 minutes, Paul, but finally it seems that AC Milan might just be starting to find their feet.
Just started to be a bit more comfortable on the ball, and that in turn has straight away pushed Liverpool back. And here's a great chance, that ball from Brahim Diaz didn't quite get threaded through towards Rebic. That previous chance, I mean, Theo Hernandez's shot was going a mile wide, but it deflected into the path of Leao, and then his ball actually needed dealing with.
Diaz runs it down a blind alley, and Henderson will pinch it back, flicks it forward. Now a possible counter for Liverpool. It's worked out wide, near side the right for Origi, who tries to turn inside and give it to Mo Salah. And Tomori is back just in time. In fact, it was Frank Kessie who got there first and spins away and prevents a corner.
I'm not sure
he careered into the challenge. He almost proceeded to give away a corner, but Liverpool still attacking forward. Jota leaves it to Henderson, 18 yards out. Salah, oh, what a save! Fantastic save from Mike Maignan. Salah, with no room for a backlift, drilled a shot from the 18-yard box, and the Frenchman, well, he had to scamper across, and he was just about equal to it. Salah did well to just flick the ball up on 1 foot turn and hit it with the other, and it's a fine save from the goalkeeper, who's equal to it. 1-0.
It's a great save there from Young, and gives the corner kick away.
Far side the left it will be, cut towards the back post, and Kjaer is the first man underneath, and there's hardly time for this game, Paul, to take your breath, is there? Because such has been the ferocity with which Liverpool have attacked, and they're coming forward again, just as we say it. Trent Alexander-Arnold crosses towards Jota, who should have done better, and lets the ball career off his shoulder and into the hands of the goalkeeper. But half an hour gone, and whilst they see us started to find a little bit of a rhythm, Liverpool coming forward, Paul, they've been relentless.
They have been relentless, but what I thought about that last move there was Kessie won the ball, and then he just sort of waited for someone to take it off him. He was then forced to clear it at a funny angle, and off the back of that, Liverpool had 3 chances to score from, including that great strike from Salah and an equally good save from Yangan. So it just goes to show, fine margins sometimes. If you can get rid of that ball quicker, then do it, because all of a sudden you could be facing 2 set pieces in a row.
Liverpool just seem to be the more cohesive unit so far, and that's possibly why they lead by a goal to nil. Forward they come, near side the right, in the pursuit of a second with Mo Salah. Edge of the penalty area, quick 1-2 with Alexander-Arnold. He'll cross in, it hits Kjaer, falls out towards the edge of the area where Henderson will whip it to the back post. The cross comes in, it was aimed at Salah. Kessie flicks it away, Keita picks it up far side, Liverpool left. He takes a kick on the edge of the area, possible advantage, and the deflection could have taken it anywhere. And that, unless the referee brings it back for the free kick, will be a corner. So Simon Marciniak has given the corner, which is the correct call because the advantage was used. And just a fortunate deflection this time, unlike the one that took Trent Alexander-Arnold's goal in, but it's taken quickly, and a chance for cross whipped in by Keita. Doesn't quite make it, and it's cleared away by Kjaer. Liverpool second bite of the cherry, clipped over towards the back post. It's kept alive by Salah. Salah drills it across goal and into that corridor of eternity. But there, Maignan is to collect it on the end of it. Liverpool not giving up, and I think they'll feel slightly aggrieved, Paul, if they don't go into the break in 13.5 minutes' time with more than 1 goal to show for their effort.
They'll feel as though they deserve to have 2 or 3 goal lead now, really. But having said that, Milan have done well in defence. They've stopped a lot of the Liverpool attacks. There's been a couple of excellent saves from Young, not of course to forget the penalty miss as well. But there was just a brief period where Milan just looked to be getting onto the front foot, just seeing a bit more possession, and it's almost as though that's woken Liverpool up, and now they've completely taken control again.
Yes, Liverpool perhaps cruising, because that's all they needed to do for the first half an hour. At 32 minutes now, Liverpool lead by a goal to nil. Courtesy of Trent Alexander-Arnold, and it's that man on the ball now, halfway inside his own half. near side of Liverpool right, and he proceeds to whip a long crossfield ball, which might have caused a few problems for Calabria. In fact, it hasn't. It's a horrible mess made by Maignan, who's been equal to pretty much everything thrown at him so far, but it's his own side who are throwing clangers at him now, and it was watched in the air by Calabria, who had far too much time to deal with it. The AC Milan captain sends a horrible bouncing ball back to his goalkeeper, who still had enough time, you would feel, to control it, aimed to go at it with his hand, decided he wanted to keep the ball in play with his feet. It cannons off his shin. They've gifted Liverpool a corner.
I'm giving most of the blame of that to Miangan, I think, because Calabria's header back wasn't perfect, but as you said, he sort of was in two minds whether to kick it, pick it up, and in the end, it doesn't do either and just gives away a pretty disappointing corner. And it's these set pieces that can sometimes bite you. It's going to be an in-swinger from Alexander-Arnold this time.
Far side, the Liverpool left. The man whose goal separates to two sides whipped it front post and it's headed up into the air and out for another corner. It was Ante Rebic equal to it, and the corner taken very quickly from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Quick 1-2 with Robertson. Now he whips the second ball in. It's deep, and despite the best efforts of Mo Salah, that one is going to stream out into the Kop end, and it will be a goal kick. So 33 minutes gone. Off-tube independent studio commentary of this Champions League group stage fixture, and it's Liverpool 1, AC Milan 0.
Yeah, Liverpool leading by a goal to nil. They'll feel as though it should be a few goals more than that. Milan just once again going back into their shell now, and you can see it's a short goal kick from the goalkeeper. 5 Liverpool players at the edge of the box, and the ball reaches the halfway line. Liverpool are back in possession.
There we go. It's a familiar pattern of play we've seen all the way throughout the first half. And building nicely now, Liverpool far side there left, and Keita runs it to within 5 yards of the edge of the AC Milan penalty area. It's back to Fabinho. Liverpool lost a bit of ground but still have possession, and it's threaded through by Robertson towards Jota in the fighting possession on the edge of the penalty area. It's won back by Kessie, but he takes too long, and Henderson picks his pocket out to Salah 45 yards out. Sees Trent Alexander-Arnold on the run inside Kessie, end of the area, takes a deflection, bobbles up. It's going to be cleared by Leao straight back to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Can't get his feet sorted, and Benassa stretches after the ball, just about keeps it away from Salah. His clearance is straight into the head of Fabinho, and now Trent Alexander-Arnold looks to be tripped near side the right by Theo Hernandez, and that was an astonishingly poor passage of play for two sides who've been giants of the European game in the 21st century, and everything that you could have seen go wrong defensively for AC Milan has come to haunt them, and they concede another free kick in a vital position for Liverpool.
Yeah, well, this chaos is catching at the moment here for Milan, isn't it? And on that occasion, I think the officials have got it right. There's just a little bit too much contact with Arnold from behind, being pushed behind when there really wasn't much of a battle for the ball, so that was the right decision, and a good opportunity now with a left footer and a right footer standing over this one.
So standing over it indeed, we have Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson in the corner near side the right, just 5 yards in from the touchline. It's whipped in underneath the crossbar, defensive header up rather than away. Theo Hernandez keeps it in, not sure if that was the right call because Origi's right underneath it, plays it far side of Liverpool left, out to Keita, who thinks about coming short to Mo Salah and opts to go right back the way to the halfway line for Gomez. He will spray it near side of Liverpool right, and it's worked into the feet of Robertson. Robertson opted to go back into defence once again. 10 minutes left of normal time in this first half. It's Liverpool 1, AC Milan 0. Fabinho 35 yards out. Rolls it forward, and again, the white shirts of Milan just camped out on the edge of that penalty area, shutting off the angles. Liverpool will have to try again. Still working away with Origi far side there left, and he's taken one touch too many. He's been forced into an error, and it will be a throw into AC Milan. 20 yards inside their own half, but they're really struggling. They're down 10% in the possession stakes already, and if anything, Paul, I'm surprised that AC have seen 45% of the ball, but
it's all that possession they've had inside their own half. But
the
other stats that scream out here is the fact that Liverpool have had 14 attempts to Milan's 1. And there have been 10 corner kicks to nil, obviously, in favour of Liverpool as well. So, complete dominance. And, yeah, we've made the point already that really it should be more than 1-0 right now to Liverpool.
Absolutely. But that's the most important stat at the end of the day, and that will be giving some solace, I imagine, to Stefano Pioli, who's out in his Anfield technical area, sporting his suit and his white trainers. It's a rather striking look. And his side are fighting to come out of their own half, and just looked for a moment like they might have found the space to do it with Diaz, but he sees nothing on in terms of white shirt, so back to Maignan it goes. Liverpool lead by a goal to nil. 36.5 minutes played. Off-tube independent studio commentary, courtesy of Cameron Pope and Paul Szczerbakowicz. Coming through the middle now are AC Milan once again. Diaz cuts inside, Trent Alexander-Arnold gets a lucky touch, plays it near side the left towards Theo Hernandez, who tries to whip it in, questions about a handball, muted appeals if anything, but it's worked away by Liverpool. In fact, the free kick has been given, but a defensive one. And so Liverpool will have a chance to restart.
Yeah, the referee barely even finished whistling for that free kick, and he's already apologising to the Liverpool players probably thinking he could have just let play go on, because Liverpool would prefer to have cleared that in real time rather than let the whole Milan team get back into their own half. In fact, it's going to be an uncontested, well, they're all uncontested drop balls these days in football, aren't they? But it's going to be a ball given back to Alisson.
Yeah, rather damp squib there, and I sympathise slightly with the referee, and one lucky fan, very happy fan, has picked himself a spare match ball, as that one was hoof long from what would have been.
That'll be on eBay then.
It certainly might be, but judging by the smile on his face, I don't know if that's ever going to be put down. 37.5 minutes gone, Liverpool 1, AC Milan 0. I sympathise slightly there with Simon Marciniak, because referees are told not to award the advantage on the edge, in the defensive third, really. It should only be given in extenuating circumstances, even in the middle third, but in that occasion Liverpool did pump it long and had bodies forward. But here they are in the centre circle with the goal scorer Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he's been on point so far this night, but it's a poor ball that he sprays out left for Divock Origi. It's out on the full over the head of the Belgian, so AC Milan will have a throw with 7 minutes left of normal time in this first half, and taking it in their right back position. So Davide Calabria goes in search of it, and it's given away straight away, and AC have a bit of fortune because the clearance from Fabinho was poor. In fact, it was a lob ball forward towards Jota that's found touch, and so AC have a second bite of the cherry. 10 yards further forward, Saelemaekers picks it up and picks out Kjaer on the edge of his own penalty area. Striking resemblance between the two of them, and they're both playing on that right-hand side of the field. A crop of blonde hair. It comes near side the AC left in any event, and played forward by Tomori into the feet of Kessie. He has Jordan Henderson to deal with halfway inside his own half, and so takes the steady option and goes back to Kjaer. The Dane switches from right to left, so near side for AC Milan. It's played down the line, and a chance now for Rebic. Takes one on his shoulder, 35 yards out, tries to thread it far side of the box and doesn't use it wisely. The move breaks down once again. Far side of the right now, Saelemaekers trying to get himself past Robertson. He's battling, but doubled up on by Jota as well, and Jota has scrapped away for it, and Saelemaekers, well, you can tell from his body language, he thought he'd done enough there to win himself an attacking throw. The assistant thought otherwise, and it's good defending from Liverpool. So 39.5 minutes played in this off-tube independent studio commentary. Liverpool lead AC Milan by a Trent Alexander-Arnold goal to 0 as Mo Salah battles with Hernandez just inside the AC half, and he did win the ball, but it was a stray pass that handed it straight back to the visitors. But there's a man down in back play.
Well, I'm surprised
for Liverpool.
Why the referee hasn't stopped play. I mean, it's almost like he felt as though there wasn't a foul. I thought Tomori had fouled Origi here. We'll see from the replay if there's any scope to say, does he get the ball?
Well, it's a high challenge from Tomori, and Tomori comes across, and he certainly catches the Belgian, who's down in some pain. He's actually pulled himself up now to a sitting position, and Jurgen Klopp, and no doubt images of Harvey Elliott's injury sustained at the weekend against Leeds will be fresh in the minds of many, who will be relieved to see that Divock Origi is back on his feet and not needing treatment.
No, well, I say the TV pictures certainly showed across the UK. We never really got to see much of that Harvey Elliott injury, which tells you how bad it must have been that they didn't show us many replays or close-ups as they had done in the past, and I think that had been criticised in the past with some of those more difficult injuries. But chance now here for Milan.
Long ball chipped over the top is partially cleared by Liverpool. It falls to Diaz, 25 yards out, bypasses Saelemaekers, and you can see Calabria arriving far side the right. He's going to chip a ball over the top, and an AC Milan man goes down in the centre. There was no one around him. He's picked back up. It's Brahim Diaz who hit the deck, and no question of a foul. And in any event, the ball sails long and out for a goal kick, which Alisson will take quickly and short into Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's had his goal chalked off him since it went in off the boot of Fikayo Tomori. It's the defender who's had it credited to him as an own goal, but a chance for Milan to mount a response here, because Diaz is on the corner of the penalty area, tries to get a cross in, hits the first man. It's going to drop out at the feet of Leao, and he can't find a way through the red wall on the edge of the Liverpool box, and so it's cleared by Henderson up the line looking for Origi, battling away, and it's cleared away by Tomori. The second ball is poor from Kessie, and it just allows Henderson in and a halfway, but it's a heavy touch from the Liverpool skipper, and Kjaer can pick it up on the fringe of the defensive third for Milan, who trail by a goal to 0, but it's slipped through the middle now, 35 yards out for Saelemaekers. He's got options left and right, and now into the centre, and now might be a chance for Rebic, and there's the equaliser, and the flag stayed down, and let's not quite say it's come out of nothing, because Milan have fought their way back into this game, but Liverpool may just be ruining the glut of chances that they passed up, having gone 1-0 up early in the game, and it's been tapped away by Rebic, and now suddenly AC Milan to the delight of the travelling fans, a level in this game.
Level in this game, and it's, as you say, it's not come out of nowhere, but it's still unexpected when you consider how this first half has gone. And Liverpool will be very frustrated with how this goal was conceded. Kiar picks the ball up deep inside his own half, sends the ball over towards the left-hand side. Brahim Diaz looks up, and he gets that ball through to Rebic. Is he offside? Not a chance. Joe Gomez is made a real mess of that. He's always at least 2 or 3 yards behind the rest of his teammates. He makes a quick step forward, but by the time it's too late, and take nothing away because it's a lovely first-time finish from Rebic, curling it low past Alisson.
Yes, he certainly knows where the goal is, and it was cushioned effort, tucked it away past the goalkeeper. Hard to do to reverse the direction of the ball, but he managed it well and rolls it in along the ground. And Liverpool, well, having dominated for the vast majority of this opening period, find themselves 2 minutes away from going at the break with a scoreline level.
You wouldn't have predicted that after the first 20 minutes. You'd have thought Liverpool might have been 3 or 4 up by half-time, but they win possession back now. A chance here for Keita.
Here they come again. Keita indeed, slipping it down the line, looking for Jota. Back towards Keita. It's just slightly ahead of the Guinean, and it's cleared away, and it's going to be kept in near side the AC Milan left by Leao. Quick 1-2 with Rebic, sees Leao away, near side the left. He's not got enough white shirts near him, so he's going to have to go himself. He works it inside, and now there might be a chance here for Rebic. Oh, he cuts it across. Oh, it's saved on the line. It's going to drop in, and it's been turned into the back of the net by Brahim Diaz. 2 goals in just a little over a minute. And the Milanese, well, they've not been in this game for 40 minutes, but they have arrived in Liverpool, and they will go into the break as it stands, leading by 2 goals to 1.
Unbelievable. This goal really has come out of nowhere. No one would have expected that Milan would be leading by half-time, but that's where we're at now, with the visitors scoring twice in under 90 seconds, and Jurgen Klopp must just be a little bit shell-shocked now, as indeed some of those Liverpool players on the bench, Virgil van Dijk amongst others. But it starts off down the left, a lot of space here for Leao. He looks up to see where Rebic is again. The Liverpool offside line again, it's Gomez. He's a yard behind the rest of his teammates. Alisson comes out, Robertson stops it on the line, but there's just, I didn't think I'd be saying this in the first half, but there's too many Milan players in the Liverpool box.
There is. I mean, there's at least 5 there in the penalty area when the ball goes in. It was fantastic work there for Rebic just to tuck it back. Theo Hernandez shot at goal. It was stopped on the line by Robertson, who couldn't get back quick enough. It was only a yard out, and it's careered over the line by Brahim Diaz. But great work from Rafael Leao, who had a lot to do when he picked the ball up from Rebic just inside the Liverpool half. But Liverpool should have sensed for me that Leao was stranded on his own and had a lot of holding up to do, but nobody pressured him, and he was allowed a free run towards the edge of the penalty area, plays in Rebic, and then seconds later, the ball is in the net. And so 15 seconds left of normal time in this first half, and as if to epitomise the pattern of play in the last few minutes, Trent Alexander-Arnold has almost hooked the ball out backwards defensively on the full, and it's just a save by Joe Gomez who will pump it long. But that penalty miss from Mo Salah at 1-0 now takes on an altogether different hue. And it doesn't look good for Liverpool, who will head the ball back into Milan territory following the aerial clearance from Maignan, and Fabinho goes down under the challenge of Diaz. Diaz is going to be penalised. I don't think he'll mind too much given the recent turn of events. Well, AC Milan were looking to be heading into the break. We said at one point, Paul, that they'll be lucky if they go in with a goal deficit, and now they're a goal in the lead. 1 minute of added time has been added, and I don't think we'll see much of it because a long ball has gone over the top, and it's been plucked out of the air by Mike Maignan, who's taking a knee from Mo Salah on the way through. Goalkeeper's in some pain, and so referee has just allowed him to regain his feet, and we will stop with a drop ball. But Mo Salah just keen to get onto the end of that. And in fact, it was Theo Hernandez.
He runs into his own player there, absolutely. But who knows? Maybe because the fact that they are in front, it just took him a couple of extra seconds to pick himself up there. But this has been an unbelievable turnaround, and Jurgen Klopp really does have to earn his money during this half-time break now.
He certainly does. And Liverpool have got a few seconds left to hold out. They don't want to be going into the break with any more damage inflicted. And Rebic, well, has it on the edge of the penalty area and thought about whipping across him. But the Polish referee has seen enough for a fantastic advert for European football on its return to our calendars. We go in at the break and join us again in 15 minutes. You don't want to miss a second of this. It's Liverpool 1, AC Milan 2.